Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXP and today is the 27th of June 2022. It's almost the first half of the year and needless to say the first half of 2022 has not been great for Bitcoin and pretty much all other cryptocurrencies as well. And the world is not in the right place as well. Geopolitical situations have gone from bad to worse, with inflation soaring in, stagflation setting in, and the elites have chosen deglobalization as its next agenda. It would be interesting and really scary to see what's next in the next coming months, years, and the big question is, where does Bitcoin, blockchain, and cryptocurrency fit into all of this? Last week we talked about CryptoPunk, which was sold for $100,000 in aid to Ukraine, and how Ukraine has benefited by receiving over $60 million in cryptocurrency donations. So there's definitely some good use cases. Similarly, cryptocurrencies can be used by Russia as well. In theory, it should be in a position that Russia and Ukraine should be able to use cryptocurrencies. But with reference to Ukraine, where do you think the funds have gone? Has the funds gone to the end users who are in need of the cryptocurrency, or has it gone back again to the central entity that is the Ukrainian government? Anyways, today's topic, we will discuss that just a little bit and we'll refer to the second line of Bitcoin white paper, which I've been talking about quite often recently. And today's episode, we're also going to be discussing BlockFi, which was on the verge of being wiped off completely, but thanks to FTX exchange, they are in a position to secure funding. But FTX is also creating some new problems, and that is to do with the investors of BlockFi. So we'll be exploring that in today's episode. In today's episode, we'll also talk about inflation in Lebanon. Would it have been better if they would have adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender? We'll try to compare it with, let's say, El Salvador, and was it a good move? Now, I personally think it's way too early to tell if El Salvador's decision of making Bitcoin a legal tender was the right decision. Probably, let's say, give it a decade's time or maybe longer. Then we might get a much better accurate picture of El Salvador's decision. Regarding UAE, I have two news. This is the sessions that I keep having every month. So essentially, I'm going to be talking about two sessions that I'm going to be having at the start of July. The first one is called Bitcoin Beginner's Guide. And this is a three-part series that takes place from the 7th of July till the 21st of July. So the three sessions would be on the 7th of July, 14th of July, and 21st of July. And the second news is about Blockchain DXP again. And this is a session on Ethereum called as Ethereum Beginner's Guide. This will be on the 7th of July. So that's what I'm going to be discussing about. And also, guys, I was thinking from maybe next week onwards of having two podcasts on the same day. That is, one will be the Crypto and Coffee at 8. But the second one will solely focus on Metaverse. The only problem that I see is with Metaverse, the fruition of Metaverse is not until a decade from now. So maybe I have this feeling that I'm way too early in this space and things will be changing in the next 6 to 7 to 8 years. Probably in the next 4 to 5 years, everything that I've spoken will not be relevant by the time Metaverse is in full fruition. But maybe I'll just give it a try for a week and see how it goes. So welcome everyone, it's 8 and you're in Dubai. You're listening to Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. How the series of episodes under Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well, news that has an impact in the crypto world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East in the world of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. This is followed by Asking Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions from 8:30 a.m. to 9 a.m. Gulf Standard Time regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And every Fridays at 8 a.m. Gulf Standard Time, we have an episode called Metaverse Everything, where we solely focus on Metaverse. So please check out those episodes as well. The format for Metaverse Everything podcast is completely different, And I also tend to publish a weekly report on Metaverse that you can find it via my LinkedIn profile. And my LinkedIn profile is in the show notes below. Or alternatively, you can also go to Medium page and type in blockchain DXB. So let's kickstart today's episode. So the 27th of June 2022, the first working day of the week, at least in Dubai. So the global crypto market cap is at $961. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.18%. Now the reason this is because in Dubai, it's already Monday, but in other parts of the world, that is UK, Canada, and US, it is still Sunday. That's one of the reasons why the global crypto market is still down, because of the time difference. The total crypto market over the last 24 hours is only $49.91 billion. Now this is ridiculously low, even for a Sunday. Imagine the total crypto market volume of the entire world is only $49.91 billion. Now I remember back in the day, even in the worst days, the total crypto market volume used to hover well above the $100 mark. So I'm really not sure what's going on. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 3.15%. The total volume on DeFi is currently at $5.39 billion, and DeFi accounts for 10.80% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. The volume of stablecoins, and this is something which we'll be discussing when we kickstart the episode, is down to $43.53 billion. Once again, guys, I keep giving this example quite often. The day El Salvador made Bitcoin a legal tender, when it was officially done, the entire cryptocurrency market collapsed. Only on that particular day, the volume of stable coins had skyrocketed to $180 billion. Out of the $180 billion, Tether USDT was $160 billion. So the difference is almost 4 times, and today the volume of stable coins is down to $43.53 billion. Now I do understand that this is a weekend in most part of the world, but even then it's still ridiculously low. And stablecoin accounts for 87.21% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. The king of all king, Bitcoin, the price is $21,378. Since the last 24 hours, it is marginally down by 0.49%. And since the last 7 days, it's up by 4.84%. Now the reason it's up by 4.84% is only because of the last 48 hours. The price did go up. It went up to $22,500, but it went down. The same thing with Ethereum. Ethereum is currently at $1,237. Guys, on the 29th of this month, there is a massive upgrade which is taking place on Ethereum. So my expectations are that the price of Ethereum would probably go down maybe tomorrow. So let's have a look at the price of Ethereum and compare it with the price of today. Now since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.46%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 9.53%. Binance coin is $239. And since the last 24 hours, it is down by 0.36%. And since the last 7 days, it is up by 11.77%. What I'm really concerned about is the volume of stable coins. The 24-hour volume of stable coins is down to 43.92%. What's even crazier is that this accounts for 87.20% of the total crypto market 24-hour volume. I'm looking at the price via CoinMarketCap, and I was hoping that the price is not updated correctly, but then I checked it with other exchanges as well, and the price does seem to be fairly accurate. What is really interesting is the circulating supply between USDC and USDT. USDT, that is Tether USDT, the circulating supply is $66 billion, whereas USDC's circulating supply is $55.83 billion. So USDC's pace is definitely picking up, the circulating supply, and it has doubled since the last 12 months. So in a year's time, the circulating supply of USDC has almost doubled. That is a good thing because personally, I am a fan of USDC. It is a consortium where Circle and Coinbase are members, but they are far more regulated in comparison to, let's say, Tether USDT. They are far more open. The audit, at least in theory, is much better than Tether USDT. That being said, the fear and greed index in the cryptocurrency market is still at extreme fear. That is, it is still at 14. And it would be really interesting to see what happens in the second half of this year. Talking about the price, CZ, the CEO of Binance, is very content with the current price of Bitcoin. And if you look at the Bitcoin maximalists and the OGs of Bitcoin, they're perfectly fine with the price tag of $20,000 per Bitcoin because the price is not that important. They're more focused on the movement that Bitcoin is about to evolve over time. That is how it should be. CZ, in an interview with The Guardian, said that it may take a few months or a couple of years for the price of Bitcoin to reach a new all-time high. So probably in a year's or maybe 2 years' time, that is what he is referring. But we at Blockchain DXB, we guarantee that our Bitcoin price predictions are 100% right 50% of the time, and we strongly feel that in the first quarter of 2025, that is 6 to 8 months after the next halving of Bitcoin. So the Bitcoin's next halving should ideally occur on May of 2024. The exact date is not yet known. 6 to 8 months after that, which most probably will be, let's say, November, December, probably moving on to next year, is when we think, or the first quarter of 2025, is when Bitcoin might meet its new all-time high. So hopefully, geopolitical situations by then change, and hopefully, you never know, US has a new presidential candidate, that is hashtag Trump 2024. Next news is about Lebanon. Now, Lebanon's inflation has been doing absolutely horrendous, especially since 2019. And again, this goes back to the whole geopolitical situations. Inflation's number are extremely daunting for Lebanon, and it is currently at 211%. Imagine 211%. And it's only going to continue till maybe 2023 or 2024. The national news from UAE did publish an article which talked about Lebanon's inflation, and it has given one of the causes of lack of political stability is the main reason why the inflation has gone high. So what has happened is, because of lack of stability, Lebanon is unable to receive a loan from the IMF, that is International Monetary Fund, for $3 billion. Once the political situation is fixed, maybe IMF will be in a position to give them $3 billion loan. But what if Lebanon would have adopted Bitcoin as a legal tender? Would that have been a much better idea? If you look at Lebanon's inflation, since 2019, it's gone from bad to worse to extremely worse. What if around say 2016 or 17, Lebanon had few reserves of Bitcoin? In that case, they may have been in a better position. Let's compare it to what has happened in El Salvador. In case of El Salvador, it has lost half of its investment in Bitcoin, and this becomes the whole notion about timing of when you've gone ahead and purchased Bitcoin. President Nayib Bukele did purchase Bitcoin when the price was relatively higher, probably around $43,000 or so. When the price did go down to $30,000, he did buy 500 more Bitcoins and has been continuously buying Bitcoin as and when the price of Bitcoin dips. Mashable from India has reported that El Salvador has lost half of its investment in Bitcoin. So definitely not a good look for it, at least now. But again, you need to look at it from a longer time reference. Maybe give it a decade's time or so, and then you might get a more accurate picture. And in case if you guys want to know what President Nayib Bukele has done with reference to Bitcoin, I really urge you guys to go and listen to his interview with Peter McCormack. Now, there are two interviews. The first interview was when El Salvador made Bitcoin a legal tender. That is well over an hour long. I would recommend you guys to go and listen to it. President Nayib Bukele does a very simple job in explaining the different articles. So there are a lot of misconceptions that will completely vanish. So mainstream media who oppose Nayib Bukele says that it's compulsory for a person to accept Bitcoin. That is not true. There are different articles. So let's say if a merchant is not tech savvy and does not want to accept Bitcoin as a legal tender, there is another article that protects that person because of price volatility. If let's say someone wants to accept Bitcoin but does not want to keep Bitcoin, rather wants to receive funds in the local currency. There is another article for that as well. So very well explained in that interview. Now he recently had another interview with Peter McCormack where they talked about the same thing and looked at what has happened over the years. And President Nayib Bukele, when he's on the mic, he does give a very positive outlook. What he said was that Nayib Bukele and El Salvador are doing perfectly fine and they haven't lost any Bitcoin. So that's one way of looking at it. But we have to give it at least a decade's time or so to get a much better idea if El Salvador's decision was a right move. Now we're going to talk about BlockFi next, and there are two news, and both of the news are in a way connected. The first news is that BlockFi mentioned via Twitter that they are increasing the rates for Bitcoin, Ethereum, USDC, GUSD packs, Binance USD, and USDT in their BlockFi interest account. So they mentioned it via Twitter. The reason why they have done that is for three reasons. One is effective risk management, decreasing market competition, and changing macro yield environment. So I would definitely recommend you guys to go and read through the tweets. It's really informative. They've essentially put up an image for three reasons. That is effective risk management, decreasing market competition. They've put up a screenshot, and changing macro yield environment. They've also put up a screenshot. In that screenshot, it says click here. So when you try to click it, it's actually near it, so it wouldn't go any further. Maybe they have a blog put up. It's definitely worth reading through that blog. The reason why they have done that is linked to the next news. But before we move on to the next news, a word of strong caution. Remember guys, the very second line of Bitcoin white paper that reads, the main benefits are lost if a third party is still required to prevent double spending. So what BlockFi is essentially you deposit your Bitcoins onto them, let's say for 6 months or 1 year. Because you're depositing it to them, you earn interest. So essentially they're playing the role of a bank, and that is exactly why Bitcoin was created, so that there is no middle person, so that BlockFi should not exist. But if you look at it from a different point of view, BlockFi's business model is great. So rather than just having Bitcoin in your wallet, now you are in a position to earn some interest. So what BlockFi does is, whatever Bitcoin you put it onto BlockFi, BlockFi in turn then rents it out to retail investors. They charge them an interest, and part of the interest is given back to you. How it is connected to the next news is that yesterday, CoinDesk published an article claims that Morgan Capital, I believe Anthony Pompliano is one of the co-owners or an advisor for Morgan Creek Capital, is trying to counter FTX's BlockFi bailout. So what happened, as we know, is that because of the Terra Luna's collapse, BlockFi was in a dire situation as well, and they were supposed to go completely bankrupt. But last week we talked about how FTX is willing to give them $250 million as a revolving credit. But there is a catch to that. If the terms are agreed upon, FTX 250 credit facility will also acquire all the investments that other people have made in BlockFi, which is fairly reasonable. And based on what the information is published in CoinDesk, that it is initially already agreed upon, Morgan Creek Capital is one of the investors, so which would mean all of the investments or all of the shares that Morgan Creek Capital owned in BlockFi automatically goes to FTX. So what Morgan Creek Capital is doing is they are going to do a counter offer. So they are trying to raise a little bit more than $250 million, and they will try to bail out FTX. So as an FTX, it's a great thing, but absolutely worrisome for Morgan Creek, because FTX has the option to buy BlockFi at essentially zero price. That does actually include Morgan Creek Digital's stake in BlockFi. So definitely not a good thing for Morgan Creek, and this is again, it has a domino effect. It all started with Terra Luna's collapse, which had an impact on Celsius, which had an impact on BlockFi. But because of BlockFi, Morgan Creek Capital might be facing some financial loss, and I'm pretty much sure investors for Morgan Creek Capital will be facing further losses as well. So it's going to be a domino effect, and the funds are going to just get bigger and bigger. Let's move on to next news regarding UAE, and these are two sessions that I plan to conduct in the month of July. The first one is called Bitcoin Beginner's Guide, and it is a three-part series that takes place from the 7th of July till the 21st of July. It is on the 7th of July, 14th of July, and 21st of July. It is a three-part series that takes place at 11 a.m. Gulf Standard Time. And the only reason for doing that is an initiative to train, educate, and consult the people of Dubai on Bitcoin and blockchain technology. And this is purely done in line with Dubai blockchain strategy. Now, the link for this event can be found on eventbrite.com, or you can also drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, or you'll find the information on my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. So I'm just going to give a quick breakup of what these three sessions will be about. The first session will be on the 7th of July at 11 a.m. Gulf Standard Time. On the 7th, I'm going to be talking about the history of Bitcoin, projects before Bitcoin. So there were essentially 4 projects that took place before Bitcoin. And what is it that Satoshi Nakamoto did? He essentially solved a problem. So I'm going to be talking about what problem did Satoshi Nakamoto solve, and what is double spend problem? Who is Satoshi Nakamoto? Why it matters? And also talk about why Satoshi Nakamoto does not matter as well. So on the 7th of July, I'm also going to give a very brief explanation of how Bitcoin works. So this whole notion of blockchain technology, we're going to explore what goes in a block and what goes in the chain. So it's going to be at least for an hour or so. It's going to be at a very basic and beginner level. The next session, which takes place on the 14th of July, I'm going to be talking about BFT, that is Byzantine Fault Tolerance. And this again takes place at 11 a.m. Gulf Standard Time. We're also going to be talking about the Bitcoin white paper at a very general level. So you do not need any technical expertise at all. And we'll also look at private key and public key. And what is SHA-256, that is Secure Hashing Algorithm 256. So it's really interesting stuff, and I'm going to make it as easy as much as possible. You do not need any technical expertise whatsoever. We're going to be exploring the hashing algorithm, the mathematics, and cryptography. And all these things are also related to the definition of Bitcoin. So when we talk about the definition of Bitcoin, it's essentially broken down into 2 parts. That is, Bitcoin is a peer-to-peer electronic cash system. So the second part of the definition, that is electronic cash system, that's where things like hashing algorithm, the mathematics, cryptography kicks in. And we'll also explore how mining works and the halving of Bitcoin mining, something which we talked about earlier today as well. And we'll explore mining difficulty too. Finally, on the last session, which takes place on the 21st of July at 11 a.m. Gulf Standard Time, we will look at the Bitcoin market share, and we'll talk about the forks of Bitcoin, the different types of Bitcoin, and we'll look at the basics of Lightning Network and Liquid Network, again at a very basic level. And we'll discuss the different types of Bitcoin, that is Bitcoin, Bitcoin Cash, Bitcoin Satoshi SV, and Bitcoin Gold, Bitcoin Diamond, and quite a lot of other things. We'll also look at the pillars of Bitcoin and open blockchain, which is popularized by Andreas Antonopoulos. And we'll briefly discuss the difference between open blockchain versus private blockchain. And we'll also look at how to hodl, that is, hold on to dear life on your Bitcoin. Again, it's no investment advice. We'll also explore the current and the future state of Bitcoin. So it's a completely free event. So go to eventbrite.com, type in blockchain DXB. Alternatively, you can always drop me an email at info@blockchaindxb.com. The next news is about a session once again doing, and this is going to take place on the 7th of July, 2 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. It's called as Ethereum Beginner's Guide. And this again, guys, once again is done purely in line with Dubai blockchain strategy, an initiative to train, educate the people on Bitcoin and blockchain technology. The link of this event also can be found on eventbrite.com, or you can always drop me an email as well. This event takes place on the 7th of July. So what we will be talking about in this episode is what is Ethereum, often called as the first world computer. We'll look at the history of Ethereum, the projects before Ethereum. So this whole notion of smart contract, were there projects before Ethereum that tried to do that? We'll talk about those as well. We will discuss the key difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum and the challenges faced by Ethereum, mostly about scalability, also security, We will also look at Ethereum London hard fork, which kind of gave this notion about Ethereum being sound money. And we will also try to discuss if Ethereum can flip Bitcoin. Now, if can Ethereum flip Bitcoin, we'll have to look at it in two parameters. The first one is purely in terms of price, and the second one is in terms of market share. So we'll explore that as well. And then we'll look at the 5 upcoming stages in Ethereum, and one of them is a part of one of these stages. So on the 29th, one update is linked to one of these stages. Now, these stages are going to be working together. It isn't like one after the other. So the 5 stages that are taking place in Ethereum are going to take place together. That is the merge, the surge, the verge, the purge, and the splurge. So we'll be discussing that. And once again, guys, it's going to be at a complete basic and beginner level. Then we'll discuss how to get involved in Ethereum, how to build on Ethereum, what are the competitors of Ethereum or so-called Ethereum killers, and we'll discuss the current and future state of Ethereum. So again, it's going to be at a completely beginner level, ideally suited for someone with little or no experience whatsoever. No prior knowledge or technical expertise is needed. Sessions are completely free, of course, and once again, there will be absolutely no investment advice. So that's all for today, guys, on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com, or you can also check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. You can also check out my other website, that is Area 2071, that talks everything about Metaverse. If you like listening to this, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and please share the word across. Now for the next 30 minutes, it's going to be an Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. So let's kickstart this episode. Hey everyone, it's George from Blockchain DXB. You're listening to Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to the price of Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Then we look at 2 news and information related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East from the crypto world. And what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions about Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. I have a question by Johnny, who asks, why do you think as USDC volume has gone up? Now that's a brilliant question, Johnny. Now, what I really think, and this is pure conspiracy, Johnny, what I think is that USDT, they have found out that USDT could be a black swan event for the cryptocurrency market. And in order for USDT to completely disappear, people, I'm not sure who those people are, maybe it's the government, maybe it's some whales. What they want to do is they want to drive the volume of USDC. Again, this is pure conspiracy, but it has got valid justification as well. Now, Tether USDT could be the black swan event for cryptocurrency. That is something which we do not need, especially now. If Bitcoin were to go to zero, USDT could be the reason why it could go to zero. In order to protect USDT, which may go bust, I think they're driving up the volume of USDC. This, once again, Johnny, is pure conspiracy. The other reason being, Coinbase and Circle are both heavily invested in USDC. So USDC essentially is a consortium, and it's very fairly regulated. And USDC and Coinbase are doing a lot of advertisements on the use case of USDC. And to be honest, that is the reason why there is a lot of volume which has gone up for USDC. Now remember, John, the volume is still less, but the circulating supply is high, which is a bit strange. So if you look at circulating supply, it is at $55.5 billion. So what that means, John, is that $55.5 billion reserves are available that can be audited at any point of time. But if you look at the 24-hour trading volume, it's extremely less. Let me quickly have a look at what 24-hour trading volume of USDC is right now. So let's have a look. 27th. So USDC's trading volume is only $3.1 billion. So John, USDT, that is Tether's circulating supply is $66.8 billion, but the trading volume is $36 billion. USDC's circulating supply is $55 billion. That is only $11 billion less. But the 24-hour trading volume is less than 1/10 of USDT. It's only at $3.12 billion. So, my conspiracy may just be right. And what I've also been noticing, John, especially in Dubai as well, a lot of the firms are switching from USDT to USDC. I know a guy in the gym who has a lot of USDT, and he does have a lot of trade deals with people from China, with Russia, and he was saying that how it becomes easier for him to use USDT. But since the last 2 weeks, he was asking quite a lot of questions about USDC as well, because he's also a bit skeptical about USDT. Could it go bust because of the whole reserve? The government could actually say that USDT to stop existing because they do not have any funds being backed up. If that case, it could just completely wipe off from the market. That could be the reason why USDC's volume is going up, and personally, I kind of like that as well. I have another question, and this question is by Riz, who said that you said that there will be a major update on the 29th, of which, oh yes, Riz. Okay, so let me just reframe Riz's question. So Riz's question is, you said that there will be a major update on the 29th, and I'm thinking he's referring to the update with reference to Ethereum. Yes, Riz, that is absolutely correct. Just 2 days from now, on the 29th, there is an update which is taking place on Ethereum. The update is called as Grey Glacier Fork, and it's a very unique name. Now, what's going to happen is, at the exact block number 15,050,000. So at the 15,050,000 block, the Ethereum network will undergo an upgrade, and that upgrade is called as Grey Glacier Fork. What will happen with the Grey Glacier Fork is that it will push back the difficulty bomb, and this might just happen for the last time. So what's going to happen is it is going to push back the difficulty bomb by 700,000 block. That is roughly 100 days. I won't go into detail as to what the difficulty bomb is, because in order to explain that, I'll have to explain what miners do, and it's going to be really complicated. It might take me well over 35 minutes or 40 minutes to explain it to you. But just to give you an update, on the 29th, on exact block number 15,050,000, Ethereum network will undergo an upgrade. You as a user don't need to do anything. The exchanges and the wallets will take care of everything. What will happen with that block is the difficulty bomb for the miners will be pushed back. As per the article, it says hopefully for the last time it will be pushed back by 100 days. Now, in case if you do want to find out more information, there's a guy called Tim Bako, who is the Ethereum developer. He's written a fantastic blog. I believe he wrote it last week on the 16th of June. So go to ethereum.org and search for blog by Tim Bako. He had definitely written the blog on the 16th of June because that was my niece's birthday, and I very specifically remember having read through that article. So read through that blog, it'll give you a good idea. What you can do, Riz, is something which I mentioned time and again in my podcast. Vitalik Buterin, one of the co-founders of Ethereum, he had an excellent interview with the guys from Bankless. So go to YouTube, type in Bankless with Vitalik Buterin, and the episode is called as End Game, and he talks about the different stages and how they're working together. That is the merge, the surge, the verge, the purge, the splurge. Bankless also has another interview with Tim Bako where he talks about the update, and he talks about Glacier Fork update as well. So I'll give you a very accurate and very detailed picture. And Riz, on the 7th of July, I also have a session about Ethereum, but I'm going to be talking about the different updates. So I'll very briefly touch about this. The event takes place on the 7th of July, and it's completely free, of course. And I think the event is at 2 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. So that's all for today, guys, from the Ask Me Anything series from Blockchain DXB. In case if you guys have any feedback or suggestions, please drop me an email to info@blockchaindxb.com. You can also check out my website, that is www.blockchaindxb.com. You can also check out my other website, that is Area 2071, that talks everything about Metaverse. And again, guys, if you like listening to this, please follow this podcast, give it a 5-star rating, and share the word across. And remember, Monday to Thursdays, 8 a.m. to 8:30 a.m., we have Crypto and Coffee at 8, where we cover top news and information pertaining to Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. And how the series of episodes on the Crypto and Coffee at 8 works is, we usually cover top news and information pertaining to the price of cryptocurrencies, some major breaking news, occasionally short and sweet news as well. News that has an impact in the crypto world. The other two news and information is related to Dubai, UAE, and Middle East from the crypto world. And finally, what you're listening to right now is the Ask Me Anything series, where you listeners can ask any questions regarding Bitcoin, blockchain, beyond blockchain, cryptocurrencies, NFTs, DeFi, and Metaverse. Thanks so much for listening, guys, and have a great day ahead. Bye-bye.